As a skinny guy, there are 3 muscles you must prioritize as a beginner if you actually want to look good and not like this. And those muscles are the upper chest, lateral delts, and your lats. Now, you probably haven't even heard about these muscles if you're a complete beginner, but finding this video is literally a gold scar for you. I wish I heard this advice when I first started, because I would have looked so much better, so much faster, and just would have had the aesthetic body that I was chasing. And if you're watching this video, that's probably what you're interested in as well. So, as a skinny guy starting your lifting journey, there is a lot of conflicting information on how you should train on the internet, which is where you're probably getting most of your info. So some people say you should only train 3 times a week, hitting the compound movements, bench press, overhead press, barbell rows, stuff like that, and you should never do any isolation work. Other people say that you should only train twice a week, doing like squats and deadlifts and bench press only. Some people say you should go 5 times a week and do crazy high volume. Regardless, there's a lot of conflicting information. But most of the starting programs in my research and in my experience that I've found are usually programs that focus on compound lifts. The bench press, deadlift, squat, and usually like overhead press and barbell row. And these are pretty good for beginners. If you're just starting in the gym, obviously it's better to hit these lifts than to do nothing else, right? If you want to build muscle, that is the getting in the gym is the most important part, obviously. But the issue with these types of programs, you've heard of them probably, like starting strength is like the popular one that everyone recommends for beginners. Issue with these programs is that they don't train your body to grow in an aesthetic way, if that makes sense. They grow muscles very well. If you do these types of programs where you're hitting mostly the compound lifts, you're gonna grow very well, but you're just not gonna look as good as you could. And this is what happened to me. I was starting on these types of programs and I was getting super strong and I was noticeably adding on size, but I just didn't look aesthetic yet. And it really sucked because I was putting in the work, but I wasn't getting that, the look that I wanted. And even you might call it vain or shallow, but if you're watching this video, you do want to look better. That's like the point of what this pursuit is. So putting in the work towards that and making progress, but not in the way you want, it just really sucks. So it's my goal to help you avoid that issue. So the problem, especially when you are skinny, and often skinny guys are usually tall and lanky, is that you have very narrow frame. Your shoulders are very naturally narrow. You don't have any width to you. And that's what actually gives you that aesthetic looking physique. If you look at any physique that you admire or that you wish you looked like, I'll put some examples on the screen. All of them have broad shoulders and a wider frame. So by training the 3 muscles I mentioned earlier, upper chest, lateral delts, and your lats, that's how you're gonna achieve that aesthetic look. And especially when you prioritize these muscles, not just training them, but prioritize them, is when you're really gonna start making progress to looking much better as a beginner very fast. When I started lifting, I didn't even know what the lateral delt or upper chest was. I thought it was just chest, shoulders, back. I didn't understand that there was muscles within muscles. And that's what a lot of these beginner programs don't get right, is that there are muscles that will make you look better if they're bigger than other muscles. So the takeaway from this is to prioritize those 3 muscles. Do not neglect them. Often train them first when you're hitting like that body part. Let's say you're about to hit chest. Hit an upper chest movement before you do a lower chest movement. That's gonna just prioritize that muscle and make it look much more aesthetic. So I'm just gonna give you some exercises that I think grow these 3 muscles the best. For the upper chest, I think the best exercises are any sort of incline press. So that could be an inclined barbell, inclined dumbbell, anything where you're at an angle Okay, I can't do it properly. Maybe I'll put a picture on the screen. But anything where you're at like a 30, your bench is at a 30 to 45 degree angle. My personal favorite exercises are the incline dumbbell press and the incline Smith machine press. I feel those give me a good balance between just like physical, like grit and strength, but also having the control and getting like a nice stretch and contraction on the target muscle. For the side delts, you can't go wrong with any sort of basic lateral raise variation, whether that's with dumbbells, cables, seated, standing. As long as you're doing this a lot, your lateral delts are gonna grow. A side note is that the lateral delts are probably the most important muscle to train since they physically make your shoulders look wider, which is gonna give you that aesthetic physique that you're going for. Now for the lats, there's like a million different exercises, but any movement in which you're pulling your arms like that is gonna be really good. So pull-ups, lat pull-downs, pullovers, stuff like that is really gonna get you right. So if you learned something from this video, hit subscribe down below. And if you're struggling to bulk up, I made a free meal plan in the description, so you can just click that, it'll take you right to it. And I hope you enjoyed the video. See you in the next one.